Make me an angel that flies from Montgomery. Make me a poster of an old rodeo. Just give me one thing that I can hold on to. To believe in this living is just a hard way to go. Welcome to First You Sunday morning. I'm Reverend Liz Lerner McClay, the parish minister at the Unitarian Church in Providence, and it's Easter. And yes, today especially, to believe in this living is just a hard way to go. But it is also our way to go. We believe in this living not just when life is good, but also when it breaks our hearts. We believe life is a gift and how we live matters, and how we live makes a difference, especially now. So let's light our chalices. If you need to go grab yours, just pause me. I can wait. We ready? This light burns also in our hearts, and it lights our path toward harmony and justice and hope for all. So, Easter. My gosh, what a time for Easter to come. Who would have thought that a liturgical calendar could be ironic? But here's the thing. Is it ironic, or is it actually emphatic? I am thinking about an idea I've heard before in a few different ways, most recently in a quote citing Barbara Johnson, who wrote, "We are Easter people living in a Good Friday world." She said that in a book called Splashes of Joy in the Cesspool of Life. I know, what a title. Usually people who write stuff that other people quote are called writers or essayists or thinkers or theologians, but Barbara Johnson wrote a number of books, often humorous and often faith-based. And for some reason, when I looked her up, I found her usual title was Acclaimed Encourager. That is literally a title I have never heard before. And at first I thought it was weird and a little bit of a disrespectful, kind of dismissive thing. And then I thought again, and you know, for a lot of us who serve people in different ways, that is what it comes down to, being an encourager. En meaning in, and of course, courage. So being one who puts courage into people and to be acclaimed for it, no less, that is actually pretty awesome. And this Easter especially, we are Easter people living in a Good Friday world. I first heard that kind of thinking many years ago at a conference of spiritual progressives, and someone gave a speech, including a story about a great preacher who was preaching to his people in the midst of a terrible time. And the preacher names all the things that were wrong, this devastating litany that went on and on and on. And finally, he said quietly with great authority, "It's Friday." And then he paused. "But Sunday's a-comin'." And then he listed more wrong and went even deeper and said again, "It's Friday. But," and he paused and his people said with him, "Sunday's a-comin'." And then he listed yet more, the worst things yet. And he kind of growled, kind of shouted, "It's Friday!" And his people yelled back to him, with him, "Sunday's a-comin'." And that's how I feel about this time that we're in. There is no point in denying it. Denying it only makes it literally worse, puts so many more people in jeopardy. This virus is real and people are getting sick and we are losing good people, beautiful people, people we love. And we know it's going to get worse, that we are still climbing towards the summit of worst. And we are not sure when we will be done, when we'll be able to go out, when we'll be able to congregate again in groups of less than 5, or at a distance of less than 6 feet apart, or for more than one of 3 purposes. We don't know whether our loved ones will make it through this, and if they do, we don't know when we will be able to touch them again. And some of us are alone in our homes and the loneliness is gnawing, and some of us are pent up with others and the company is maddening, and we are exhausted by details of the smallest forms of life, groceries and cleaning and planning, everything all the time. We are trying to work in wholly new ways, or trying to work while schooling our children, or we are out of work and we're filing for unemployment and we are trying to find new work. And we are watching with horror or fighting to change the way race and class are engaging the virus in the way they always do in our damaged society, privileging some of us and sacrificing the rest of us. And meanwhile, our president does, as he always does, with bizarre egotistical declarations and attacks on environmental regulations and government accountability. We are trying to stand on a roiling sea of changing realities and terrible news, trying to keep our sobriety and doing our best, feeling all the time that it's not enough, and so grateful for moments of laughter or rest or just absence of pain. My people, it is Friday. It is Friday. Just let that be for a moment. Don't fight it. Let the truth stand. It is Friday. Say it with me. It is Friday. Of course, our cherished magnolia outside our church window isn't blooming. It should be, and we really want it to be. But March was brutal on a lot of levels, and even our magnolia isn't blooming. But it is budding. It will bloom, and we will get through this. Easter is about celebrating the power of life and love in the world, about what it means to believe in this living. Easter is something we are part of. Easter is something we help participate in the world. Easter reminds us that Sunday comes, that Sunday is just as real as Friday. And Sunday is coming. We will come together again, not just in hope or on Zoom, but in fulfillment, in person. Think of the joy we will feel. We will know when we go out because we feel like it, to do what we wish when we wish, to take in our mail and just open it, to go to work, to have work, to make a trip, to shake the hand of a stranger. Think of how it will feel when we are in our church together, in the Sunday school, in the meeting house, to see each other with our own actual eyes, to clasp each other's hands, to hug each other tight. So glad to feel each other safe in body and soul. We are bound together as one body, the Unitarian Church of Providence. Even now, we absolutely know, because of the bonds of love and care and faith that inextricably bind us, that we will be together again. We will regain so much that we have lost, and we will have been changed, and that will be okay. So we will hold on through all we face now and all we will face yet. Hold on, dear beloveds, because after this long, dark night of the soul, Sunday is coming. You know it's true. A bright, bright morning, whatever the weather gives us, it will be shining for us because we will be back and we will be together and we will keep on and it will be good. This is what it means to be Sunday people, Easter people. It is in us and of us, and we know Sunday will come. I cannot wait for that day. But I will. And still, let us rejoice in that day and this day that is ours. Happy Easter.